Man, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy Tyrone Hunter, back in the building with another edition of What's Really Good Entertainment. Um, Shout out to everybody who rocking with the channel. If you're just tuning in for the first time, I appreciate you. Hit the like button on the way in the door and hit the subscribe button on the way out the door. Know my motto, I'm not gonna hold you. We're gonna get right into it, right? This is a different kind of video. Today I'm going to be talking about the importance of silence. The importance of silence. So, if you want to hear some great information about the importance of silence, man, hit that like button, hit that share button. Make sure you stay to the end of the video, because you already know it gets spicy over here. So, check me out, right? And like I said, this is a different kind of video. This is not really my norm. But, I want to give the people something of substance for today. Tomorrow I might be back on a different time, might be covering other topics, other subjects. But just for today, I want to give the folks out there in the YouTube world as well as the real world, some information. So bear with me, right? So, silence. Staying silent, remaining silent, shutting up, not talking, no matter which way you classify it. Sometimes it's necessary, and it's a very hard lesson that a lot of people have to learn. To stay silent, to know when to talk and to know when not to talk, it takes discipline. It's something that you have to learn. And the reason why you have to learn it is because it could protect your life or it could put your life in danger. Being silent can help you out tremendously, or it can harm you a great deal. A lot of people do not realize the importance of this. And it took me a while to understand the importance of silence. And silence is like if somebody say something, knowing if you should respond or not. If somebody talking, knowing if you should say something or give a reply. It's hard to do. It's hard for a lot of people to do. The reason why it's hard for a lot of people to do, because for the most part, people feel like they got something to prove. They feel like they got to be heard. They have a need to want to be understood. They don't feel right with things being said or things being done, and they're not responding to it. Now, if it's necessary for you to respond to certain things, then by all means, do so. But I think that a lot of us feel like responding or saying something when it's not even necessary. And it's a reason why I'm saying this. I can't say exactly why I'm saying this, but you could apply this to a whole lot of different situations and scenarios in life. Just knowing when to be quiet. If you think about it, right? We got two eyes. We got 2 ears. And we got 1 mouth. Ask yourself how much is more. Or how much is, or what's greater? Is 2 greater than 1? Or is 1 greater than 2? May seem like a simple question, but without getting technical, 2 is greater than 1. 2 is more than 1. So if you have 2 eyes, that means you're supposed to observe or see more than you talk. If you have 2 ears and only 1 mouth, that means you're supposed to listen more than you talk. A lot of people ain't get the memo. A lot of people ain't never gonna get the memo. For as long as I can remember, and this is since I've been a little kid, right? I idolized gangsters. I idolized tough people. I idolized, people in the movies. Growing up, some of my favorite movies was Scarface, The Godfather, Bronx Tale, Heat, Young Guns, those kind of movies that depicted violence and people being violent and people, that had reputations. I used to idolize that and idolize those individuals as I was growing up. And I don't believe I'm the only one. I think a lot of people, a lot of dudes, a lot of kids in the street growing up, they idolize these individuals. And, we sought to become like some of these individuals. And not even realizing that in these movies, it was lessons and jewels. So we could look at like the bad parts. We could glorify some of the parts where it seemed like, some of these characters was doing whatever it is that they wanted to do. And it seemed like they was getting away with it. But the one thing, or the one lesson that it took me years to learn about a lot of the movies is that the bad guys always finish last. That the thugs and the gangsters, 90% of the time, don't win. The ones who usually survive is the ones who use this the most. The ones who know how to keep their mouth shut. So in one particular movie, right, Bronx Tale, I believe it was. Yeah, I believe it was Bronx Tale, right? And if y'all want, y'all could check the movie. Y'all could go and check the movie out. But in Bronx Tale, young dude up and coming, he's part of the gang in the neighborhood. He's just coming of age. And so as a guy walking by, and him and his friends saw him, he was like, hey, he called the dude, hey, come here. Don't you owe me money? And the dude saw him and started running. So this character in the movie and his friend start chasing after the dude. They caught him, they beat him up, they stomped him out or whatever the case may be, right? And, they went back and they laughing and they joking, And I can't say it was the Godfather, but, one of the elder individuals Maybe he was the, godfather of that family, but he was well known. And he pulled him up. He was like, let me ask you a question. He said, why was you chasing that guy? Oh man, because he owed me some money. How much he owed you? He owed me $20. So you was chasing him and you beat him up in the middle of the street because he owed you 20. Yeah, man, don't nobody take nothing from me. He said, is $20 a lot of money? No, it's not the money, it's the principle. Is $20 a lot of money? No. He said, if that guy didn't pay you back $20, then it only took you to lose $20 to show you what kind of individual you was dealing with, to save yourself from losing more in the future. And he said some other things, but the reason why that was significant and the reason why that stood out to me is because what he was saying in so many words is know how to pick your battles. Know how to understand what's important and what's not important. What's worth it and what's not worth it. So now we heard the logic of that, the Jews that the older individual is dropping to him. And just kind of keep in mind, older individual dropping Jews. Just kind of keep that in mind for a second, because I'm going to come back to that. So let's look on the flip side. Some of the things that could have happened with that scenario over the $20. Could have stomped the dude out, stomped him to death, and killed him. Would have been serving 25 years or life in prison for $20. While y'all beating the dude up, police could have came. Police could have saw you, locked you up for assault. Your bail money is going to be worth more than $20. What you're going to have to pay for a lawyer is going to be worth more than $20. The money that you're going to lose from being in jail and the inconvenience to everything is going to be worth way more than $20. Next thing. His friends could have been coming by or been in the area and saw y'all stomping him out. They could have pulled out knives and guns and could have killed y'all right there. So you would have died over $20. Or even after that incident, the dude could have caught up with you again, felt offended behind the fact that, you stomped him out or whatever for $20. Could have walked up behind you and stabbed you or killed you. All for $20. Something that's not really significant. So as I got older, that was like some things I came to the conclusion, or I started to understand behind, movies, gangster movies. Let's go to Scarface. Al Pacino. One of the favorite part of the movies is, hey, you want to mess with me? Hey, you want to mess with me? Say hello to my little friend. And he's shooting, right? And so let's go before that. This is the movie Scarface we're talking about. Let's go before that, right? So in the movie Scarface, he got to that particular part in his life and part of that movie because he was, lined up with some cartel dudes, some hitters or whatever. And so they needed him to get rid of somebody. They needed him to kill somebody so that the dude didn't go on TV and give testimony or give his speech, I believe it was. Because if he gave that speech, it would have resulted in a lot of people getting locked up and going to jail. So he was supposed to, Scarface Al Pacino was supposed to kill the dude before he gave this speech. And because it was kids in the car, or because when he was to kill the dude kids had got in the car, he decided that he wasn't going to kill the dude. His morality kicked in. Hey, I don't kill kids. The dude that was with him was like, we got to do it now. We got to do it now. He was like, no, I don't kill no kids. The dude was about to blow up the dude car with the kids in it. Scarface wound up shooting him in the head, killing him. I told you I don't kill no kids. So now the big cartel boss told Scarface, like, yo, my people is not happy with you. Do you realize this dude went on TV and he spoke? He's like, yeah, but I told you I don't do no kids. I don't do no wife and kids. The dude told him, listen, I told you not to F with me. Scarface like, you think you could do something to me? You think you could touch me? So the dude hung up the phone. Instead of him arguing back and forth, he sent the whole army at Scarface. And they shot him down and they killed him. Yeah, he went out. He shot a couple of people. He killed a couple of people. But the end result is he died. Now, let's go back to why he died. So he signed up for some things in the streets. And his morality kicked in, meaning, nah, it's certain things that I'm not going to do. And because he decided to go with his morality, he went against what, he was supposed to do in the streets, and he got murdered as a result. It took me until I got older to realize the lesson in that, right? And the lesson in that particular part is sometimes when you choose the streets, you sign up for some things that you may not be comfortable doing or feel comfortable doing. For whatever reason, sometimes you do them, and then there come a point in time where sometimes your morality will kick in and say, I don't want to do that. I'm not really into that. And it's consequences either way. So, in a nutshell, sometimes you got to ask yourself, is this something you really want? Right? Now, sometimes I go back and I ask myself, I'm like, so when was it? And at what point did I myself personally decide that I wasn't going to deal with the street life no more? And I could honestly say it dealt with morality. When I got to the point that I started to question whether I should do certain things, that's when I knew it was over for me. That's when I knew I was finished. I was done. Because you can't second guess yourself, and you can't have one foot in and one foot out. Even though, for a time, that's how, that's how it was. I had one foot in and I had one foot out. And it came that crossroad where I was like, nah, I'm not with this no more. Because my heart wasn't in it no more. And I think that was part of growing up, part of maturing and realizing that in life you got responsibilities, When you don't have no responsibilities, you don't have, or you're not thinking about the people that love you, or you're not thinking about the things that you got to take care of, or you're not thinking about the people, that's looking for you to come home at night, When you don't have that, it's easy for you to crash out. It's easy for you to be with anything and everything and be with all the smoke when you don't care about nothing. But then once you get to a point where you start having feelings and you start caring about yourself, you start caring about life, you start caring about your kids, you start caring about your loved ones, something clicks, something changes, and you start to think different. But that's something that comes with time and with age. A lot of young dudes don't reach that conclusion. A lot of young dudes just be moving off of adrenaline. They be moving off the rush. They be moving off the hype. They be moving off the name. They be moving off the reputation. Not realizing that your reputation only lasts as long as you got breath. Because once you dead, your reputation don't mean nothing. So I'm saying that to say, as I got older, that's when I started to learn a lot of valuable lessons. That's why certain movies that I used to watch way back when, I look at them now and I see things a little bit differently. I don't have the same understanding. I don't have the same desire. And even with this YouTube thing, even with the social media thing, I be seeing a lot of things I want to respond to. I want to offer an opinion on. I want to say something about. But if it's not necessary, I don't need to. Because sometimes in responding or replying to things, you could get caught up into things. And it's not about whether you can hold yourself down or you can handle or deal with whatever comes. It's not about that. It's like, but if you could avoid certain things, why not? It don't make you less of a man. It makes you smart. Because you got to be able to see where things is going, where things could lead to, and then you put it on a scale and you ask yourself, is that the direction you're trying to go in? If that's not the direction you're trying to go in, then you leave that there and you go in the other direction. It's a lot of things that I experienced in life. It's a lot of things that I did in life. A lot of things that I know in life and about life. And I don't speak on it. Because it's not necessary. And I believe that's why when people reach a certain age, or if you reach a certain age in life, you're considered an OG, an old timer, a wise man. Because when you reach a certain age and you saw enough, you experienced enough, you're able to make well-informed choices and decisions in life. Because you put things on the scale, you weigh them and you balance them. And you able to pull somebody else's coat, generally people that are younger than you. You able to pull their coat to some things that you can help them avoid, only if they willing to listen. But a lot of young dudes is not willing to listen. And they're going to keep on making the same mistakes time and time and time and time and time and time again. When I started learning a lot, as I was getting wiser, I was quick to want to share what I learned with a lot of people. I was quick to want to pull people coat to certain things in the hopes that I could help them avoid it. I was quick to do that. But then as time went on, I started to realize that some people are in the beds that they're in because it's the beds that they made for themselves. And even if you care about them, you try to offer them information, you try to pull them up, you try to help them see things differently. A lot of times that's not what they want. And you wind up wasting your time. You wind up getting frustrated. Or you call yourself wanting to tell people about themselves and tell them how they wrong and how they should do things differently and how they should focus on this, that, and the third. And then now you wind up clashing with these individuals. All because you opened your mouth when you should have stayed silent. It wasn't necessary for you to even say what you thought or what you felt. Because if you look with your eyes and you see what type of time an individual is on, just by observation, it lets you know whether or not they're going to listen to what it is that you're going to say. Whether they want to hear what it is that you're going to say. It's sad because I know a lot of good people. I know a lot of genuine people who got caught up in some circumstances like they really just really don't deserve. Or I wish that it would have been a better outcome for them. But I just got to realize I can't want for people what they don't want for themselves. And although sometimes I want to give my opinion or I want to say how I feel behind certain things, I learned it is best to do this. And let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it confused. Just because you decide that you're going to stay silent, you're not going to give your opinions or your thoughts on something, or you're not going to open your mouth in regards to something, that don't necessarily means that it's not or it wouldn't create a problem or issue. Because sometimes when you silent, people have an issue with that. The same way like sometimes when you open your mouth, people have an issue with that. But you just got to realize as an individual what type of time you on, and you got to move on that type of time. And don't really care what nobody else think, nobody else feel, what they're going to have to say in regards to it. You just got to keep it like that. You got to love some people from a distance. You know, you have to learn to just kind of let life flow the way that it flow. Know what you want to do with your life and flow in that direction. And any and everybody else, let their life flow in whatever direction it flows in. Just as of recently, I was speaking to a couple of people, and you know, it's quite a few things that I'm working on. And I was speaking to a couple of people, you know, about a couple of things. And it was, you know, it was the enthusiasm. Oh yeah, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's get on top of that. Let's make that happen. You know, so forth and so on. All right, cool. And we were supposed to, you know, get up and get together and, you know, sit down and kind of put our thoughts together in terms of what it was that, you know, we was going to do. And me, I'm ready, you know. I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to make it happen. And it was silence from the individuals who, like, we were supposed to get together, and, you know, do some things together. And usually I would say to myself, like, man, I hate people wasting my time. You know, like, don't talk about something if you're not trying to do something. Don't, you know, because my time is very valuable to me. That would be my response some time ago. However, this time around, my response to myself was, they told me what type of time that they was on. He or she told me what type of time they was on in terms of whether they wanted to do certain things, whether they wanted to make certain things happen. They told me what type of time they was on without saying it out their mouth. So it was really it's no reason for me to tell them how I feel about it, tell them how I see it, tell him or her what my feelings are behind it, tell him or her what I think about what they doing, how they moving, how they, because as you get a little bit older and you seek to live your life a little bit more peaceful, without headache, without drama, without nonsense, without other people BS, life is a whole lot more smoother. Everybody in life don't want nothing, man. And a lot of times, it take you time for you to realize and understand that. A lot of times it take you time, like constantly bumping your head for you to reach that conclusion. Like, man, some people don't want nothing out of life. It doesn't matter what a person has or what they don't have. It don't matter how much they accomplish or how much they didn't accomplish. It don't matter whether they comfortable in life or whether they struggling. That don't matter. It don't matter. You just have to learn the type of life that you want to live, and that's what you put your energy and your focus into. And those that are on the same type of time or on the same page as you are, those are the people you put your effort and energy into. And even that, you got to do that in moderation. Because sometimes when you get successful, you know, you got the people hating and the people trying to bring you down and people trying to destroy what you got going on. People trying to sabotage you. And that's where silence come back in. Because I remember I used to be told when I was younger, and I didn't always follow it. But now I understand why I was told this, right? I used to be told when I was younger, a couple of things you don't let nobody know. How you get your money, how much money you got, or where you live. A person only knows what you tell them, what you open your mouth and say. And this is why a lot of times people think they know you based on what you say and how you present yourself and how you come across people. So you could literally paint a narrative about yourself, about what you about to people based on what come out your mouth. And you may be something the total opposite. So it's a lot of benefits in keeping your mouth closed and, keeping it shut, knowing when to speak and when not to speak. It's a lot of benefits to it. And as you get older, you're gonna realize like how valuable that jewel is, knowing when to, because you could observe everything, you could hear everything. But if you don't talk, you're not caught up into everybody's business. If you don't offer an opinion, you're not caught up into everybody's nonsense. You could focus on only what you got going on if you know how to control this. And there used to be another saying where I can't remember the first part, but I know the second part goes, open your mouth and remove all doubt. And I think it has something to do with you can't tell if a person is smart or dumb until they open their mouth. But when a person's open their mouth, then you remove all doubt. So if a person is smart or stupid or ignorant, you learn that once they open their mouth based on some of the things that they say, some of the things that they talk about. You learn a lot about a person based on the things that they talk about. So you don't always have to speak. You don't always have to have a conversation with people to figure out what they about. Sometimes it's just observation. Sometimes it's just listening. And that's one of the benefits of getting older, is that you learn so much that you start to say to yourself, if I knew back then what I knew now, life would be totally different. Life would be totally different. I know a lot. I done been through a lot. I done experienced a lot in life. I done seen dudes that I looked up to or dudes that I dealt with on whatever kind of levels. I used to think like some of these dudes was the realest ever. But then I see how they went out. I just be like, I looked up to this dude. I was cool with this dude. I had all of this respect and admiration for this dude. And they did this, or they went out like that. Man, life is deeper than, life is deeper than we know. And the best thing I could say is get you some goals and priorities in life. Figure out what you're trying to do with your life, where you trying to be in life, and stick to that. Let everybody else do whatever they gonna do. Let other people live their life how they gonna live their life. Let other people make their own decisions. Because everybody gonna do what's important to them or what they feel is real to them. Just let them do that, you know? Let them do that, man. Let them do that. But the longer you live, the wiser you should get. You shouldn't get dumber as you get older. You shouldn't get more ignorant as you get older. You should get smarter. You should get wiser. Yeah, my beard is growing back now. I had messed it up like a week or two ago, and now it's finally growing back. So I'm good money. I'm feeling it, But yeah, this was, this was just me. This was just me talking today. Me calling myself trying to, you know, express some things, but then at the same time, expressing them in a different way, right? Because we all have to vent, we all want to vent. And I also looked at it like, well, maybe some of what I say could be helpful to somebody. And that's what I want to do. I want to, I want to be of help and inspiration to others, to other people. A lot of things as I got older, man, I see it's like it's overrated. People, things, life, things I used to value, things I used to think that was important, people I used to value, people I used to think was important. Now it's like, man, it's overrated. It's overrated, man. And sometimes the conversation is going to be like this. Every conversation ain't going to be about entertainment. Everything ain't going to be about turn up. Sometimes it's going to be real conversations like this. And real conversations ain't always popular. Sometimes it's boring. If you watch this whole video, shout out to you. I appreciate you. If you didn't, I'm not mad at you. If you turned it after a couple of seconds, man, listen, it's all to the good. All power to you, But sometimes it's nothing wrong with just speaking what's on your mind. That don't mean you're going to get that all the time, because at the end of the day, it's not always necessary for me to speak everything that's on my mind. But every once in a while, it's a discipline, right? It's a discipline for it. So, yeah, man. Hopefully everybody enjoying their afternoon. What's today? Thursday. It's Thursday afternoon. Tomorrow is Friday. This is Easter weekend. Hope everybody enjoy their Easter. And have a blessed weekend. And I'm saying it now because I don't know if, I'm going to be back on before the weekend is over. Then again, I might be back up here in the next 20, 30 minutes, half hour. Because I like this little, I like this little vibe. I could get up here, talk to the people, give some encouragement, give some motivation, speak about some of the things that's going on. And then even with that, like I said, it'd be so much going on. It'd be so much that I want to speak about. I just be like, nah, I'm good. I ain't even gonna do it. I ain't even gonna do it. But I be having opinions about a lot of things, just like I know some of y'all be having opinions. But yeah, I'm saying, yeah, so I wish everybody luck, health, wealth, and prosperity, and beautiful things to come and to happen for your life, you know? Be careful of the bed that you make because you're going to have to sleep in it. Be careful of the bed that you make because you have to remember that you might have to sleep in it. Yeah, but we going to get up out of here. It's your boy Tyrone Hunter. Back with another edition of What's Really Good. This was conversation. This one here was Real Talk New York. This one was Real Talk. This one I probably could have made it a shorter video, but what if I ain't want to? It is what it is. So, yeah, man, I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. Safe up, enjoy your afternoon. Say no to nonsense and yes to prosperity. I'm gonna leave with that there. I'm out of here. Yiddy.